So what I want to do today for arrival day is just do a little experiment. So you're a 9, Teresa,
No,
and Harry's a 5 because it's
Yep.
his arrival day today, right?
Yeah.
So I'm using The Life You Were Born to Live by Dan Milliman, which I look at that. It's been so worn and torn and traveled the world with me. Um, I've had it since the 80s when I started doing numerology studies and astrology. This is just before I started uni and I was wanting to do psychology. And I thought, oh, I'll do a bit of numerology because it's becoming a big thing now. It is a man made thing, numerology. So it does tie you in like astrology a little bit. But what I like about Dan's understanding is he sees the life you were born to live. So he works out the numbers to the way it reflects on your life, the way you're going to live. And so it made more sense to me. So what does a 5 mean? Freedom and discipline. So this is the purpose of the 5. So this is Harry coming to Earth for his sole purpose. And it's a multifaceted number because it has many talents in a focused way. If it's focused, it'll be discipline and achieve independence in those areas. However, in the negative, it swings for extreme dependence to independence. So it can be at battle with its own self, thyself, because they want to be able to be independent and be disciplined and achieve, but there's certain traits that cause dependency on something to make the outcome positive. So they can become scattered and be a bit of a bluff their way through. So that's the negative, but the positive is discipline and achieving. And that is what it's all about, having the freedom and the discipline to achieve whatever you set out to do. So that's the 5, okay? So you're a 9. I'm trying to show you how it works with partnerships. 9 is integrity and wisdom. And that is living in alignment with higher principles, leads by example, manifests depth, charisma, and wisdom. That's the positive for you. So your wisdom balances out his part of his negative when he becomes a little bit scattered and wants depending on something or bluff himself through. So you prop that up as when he's like that. Okay, so that's your positive, his negative. Your negative against his positive. You have lost sight of higher purpose, feel lonely, cut off, locked in the mind, out of touch with heart and intuitive guidance. So you hide away, you get a bit down, you get a bit like, oh, well, what the hell, what the heck? He comes along and goes, hang on a minute. Remember, you've got a bit of freedom here. Practice a bit of discipline here, and you can achieve what you need to do. So you see how it works?
Yes, definitely.
And that's why you're in that partnership.
Yeah, we do. We balance each other out all the time. It's really good.
And
Yeah.
so this guy here, when you read him, I mean, he's got pages of stuff, but that's just the basic understanding. It gives you a really understanding of why, when you're in a relationship with somebody under that soul contract number, you've come together for that purpose. And so we can look at it deeper. And so when your arrival day adds up to a 9 and your arrival day adds up to a 5, you can see how the negative and positive work is appearing.
Definitely.
Plus the multiples of each other. So it's kind of cool how it all came together. All right, so what's arrival day about? And okay, so this arrival day is the contract that you've chosen to come through on. Wizards always come through on the same time date. They never change because they're always permanently wizards. So wizards are normally never another aspect of themselves. They come through always as a wizard, many lifetimes, and then they go off to wizard planets and wizard wherever they go. They don't normally come through as a starseed, angelic, or whatever. Their role always has been the great wizards. And you've only got to look at disciples, you've got to look at Noah, you've got to look at Joseph. They were all forms of wizardry, and I mean in good wizardry.
Yeah.
So you can see the way that they didn't need to change anything because they were already coming through always as that level of consciousness. Star seeds that need to grow and bloom to their truth come through as a certain star seed of that time. So I've chosen to come through mostly as my Pleiadian self because I needed to grow and understand my truth more and be a warrior, and then allow my Arcturian self to come through, or my geeky Sirian self.
Yeah.
So when you come through as a certain star seed of that time, it is so that you can bloom, grow, and be truth of that energy. The date you arrive is the contract mission you come under. Not every lifetime is the same, only for wizards. Before you came this time, you were given a briefing on the mission and type of life, world, parents, siblings, and locations. You would see out this mission while your soul learnt the mission, the soul lessons, and the new earth reset. So in past, when they didn't record time and dates, you just arrived. You had no sort of certain soul contract. You came through to learn, to experience Earth. But as time went along and we were controlled by date and time, we had to start creating contracts to allow ourselves to be in that frequency at that time. Otherwise, it wouldn't work for us. Arrival day is the celebration of your soul mission. It's not your birthday. You only have one day that you are birthed by your mother. The day you chose to arrive is also connected to your mother's journey and her soul lessons. The day is important to both of you, keeping your bond to lessons of that day. How powerful is that? You come through of the frequency of the divine feminine lessons connected to your mother the day she birthed you. So that's why there's a very strong DNA connection with your mother's. The Ascension Masters were with you when you decided on your arrival, and your parents, as this mission was to bring a new earth. Other missions on Earth were to be part of the great event resets. So many of us came previously for certain events such as floods, resets, that kind of thing, to be prepared for this time. That's why we know when a reset is happening, and we've been able to wake up to stuff like, oh, that's not real. We've done that before in the 1600s when they tried this one, you know? So this is what that's about. Many of us went through resets of time and are awake this time to recognize what is happening as light workers. That is why you were here in the great eras of change. So we've been here on Earth for many eras of change, when there were different resets, when there were big sort of, you know, I don't know, what did they have? Huge earthquakes, disasters, collapses, that kind of thing. At the beginning in Africa, the time of Christ, the Egyptian time, Atlantis, Lemuria, and the Roman Catholic time, and the Romans. When all that was created, we were here during those times. So we've seen many resets. The Great Floods, the 1800s, when they reset all.
Yeah.
Always returning to your planet or dimension of before. So afterwards, when we passed over, we went back to the planet we came by, or to the dimension we had been in. So, like if an angel had been in the eighth dimension, they return back to the eighth dimension. Or in my case, I'd go back to Arcturus because I know that's where I've come from via this time. A call went out for New Earth, and many of us heard it. We volunteered this time, especially to be of something big and great for humanity. So normally when we've come and they weren't recording date and time, we were chosen to come by our starseed families or the dimension we were in to come to learn, to be part of the school of Earth. And so we came for all those resets and everything. But this time was different because a call was put out and we volunteered ourselves. We had the love of our fellow star families, dimensional beings, and many codes of light, for this was needed as a special mission. So that's why we talk about our light codes. We came this time with a certain amount of light codes for this mission. In previous times we didn't. This time we did because it was needed. Mostly you were sent to learn on Earth in previous lifetimes, but this time you volunteered. That's the difference. That's why it makes this arrival day a little bit different. This arrival day was a combination of soul mission contracts and new Earth activation. So you had your soul mission, you had a contract, and you came for the activation of New Earth. So it was a powerful time to be here. You were doing a lot of work. You knew you had, that's why you had a hard childhood. Not all of our lives on Earth have been difficult childhoods, but this one was needed to be heard. For many reasons, especially for when the matrix collapses and we are called to service to help humanity. We need to be understanding, able to hear others and heal their hearts as we move into heart recognition of love light. When you are closer to your mother, you are here to learn the divine feminine meaning. Therefore, choose partners like your mother or find yourself becoming aspects of her. So quite often you'll hear yourself say, I'm starting to sound like my mother. The same goes for your relationship with your father. You are here to understand the divine masculine. So if you didn't have a relationship with your mother, you had a relationship with your father. If you were abandoned by a parent, then you will always have issues in relationships with that particular sex. So if you were abandoned by your mother, you would always have issues with other women. If you were abandoned by your father, you would always have issues with men, especially in relationships. Does that make sense to you all?
Yeah.
If your father abandoned you as a daughter, you will never fully be satisfied in a relationship with a man. You'll always be searching because you've been abandoned by a man. So you're constantly checking in, striving to find that truth, asking, is he going to leave me? Who's he talking to? What's he doing? Is he going to betray me? And I'm like that with men because my father abandoned me for my mother's best friend. So I've had trust issues all my life, not just with men, but in general, because I don't trust anything. Everything's a lie. So can you imagine that? That was a double whammy. Son will never learn to be a man and struggle with his divine masculine if he has an abandoned relationship with his father. And my ex-husband was like that. His father abandoned him. He didn't know how to be a man. The same goes with mother issues, especially if you're a woman. You will never feel safe around other women. Have addictions to compensate. Along with your arrival day number, you will discover how you deal with these issues as your mission, which I just gave an example for Teresa and Harry. This is why inner child needs healing. And that's why we go to that next level. It's all connected to your arrival day, people.
Wow.
Does that all make sense to you?
Yeah.
Yes.
So this particular arrival day was very important for you to struggle in your childhood on those issues. It was connected to your parents and your siblings mostly, but you had to live through those issues, as they said, to be able to be heard when the matrix collapses, so that you can feel and hear others to work with them to heal them. That's why starseeds have such hard lives in the beginning. So if you have abandonment problems with a mother or a father, you can see how it works. And then you have your contract number to see how you live and work through it. And that's why it's really important to understand your arrival day and how it reflects on your life. So we've done the 9, we've done the 5, and you can see what it means and how you then work through situations through your life, and how either you've sabotaged it with the negative or come through it with the positive. And that's why we need to understand that more as we become healers, teachers, activators, shaman, and so forth. Because once you've got that inner knowing and understanding, and you see particular traits coming through, you can correct it as you get into your more higher consciousness and understand why it's happening.
Yeah.
How cool is that? Pretty cool, huh?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So numerology is man-made. It's just like astrology, man-made, to trap you into a matrix, to trap you into a belief system. The reason why we have arrival days now is because we've started with the matrix recording date and time. And as I said, we came on the normal days without any soul contracts. We actually came, usually your starseed family sent you and said, you're going to Earth to learn how to do a reset, or you're going to Earth to be a teacher or whatever. But in this case, we came through this particular time with a serious soul contract. And it was everything that you've learned through past lives. Your mission was to understand the way you were going to react, behave, and get through it, and how you come through at the other end. And that's why it's really important to recognize this part of your aspects of yourself, and when you work with other people and partnerships and that, because if you have those starseed childhood problems with the mother or the father, you can work through it, understanding your positive and your negative of your arrival day. And so this is what happens with a lot of people when you're doing counseling, and that the first thing you ask, every counselor will ask, what's your background? What's your family background? Because they get an understanding of what you've come from. So this is how it works. And, we've got to remember too, a lot of us, like she lost her mum at an early age. And yet she was probably you were more connected to your mum, right?
Yeah.
So therefore, what date was your birthday? Is it the 6th?
13th.
13th. Okay, so you're a 4. Let's look at the 4 for a minute. And we'll look at this because this is a really good example for us. So 4 is stability and process. So because your mother wasn't always with you, and you've got all of us now, because you had a good relationship in the sense of the divine feminine, you had a good relationship with that DNA connection with your mum. So you also trust and love being around other women and feed off the divine feminine, because it's something that you miss, right?
Yeah.
You're not in the negative. You're in the positive with this situation. And so you're always looking for that stability, and you get it from the people that you connect with. So the positive is prepares well and progresses step by step, patient, follows through balance, logic, and emotion. So we can see that you're very logical. We can see that you balance things out. You're very positive. And, you know, you had a hard childhood, but you've come out the other end. So you like the stability of your relationship with other women, other sisters, that kind of thing. You also look for a partner that will offer you that stability. So that's why you've ended up with someone who is more stable in the sense that he will help you with the kids and he just drops you off here, picks you up there, kind of thing. He gives you that bit of stability. And you're both working together to progress into something better for each other. So that's the 4 and the positive. And the negative wants it all now. I want it now. Bring it here. Give it to me. And you might, because you want it and you're in a hurry, you'll skip steps. And that fits with the fairy because the fairy is flighty, remember? Skipping around. So, but you can be impatient but ambitious. So that can be a generational thing too. All right. So remember that. So that's really your negative, which isn't a bad thing. It's just managing it in situations. Like if something doesn't happen quick enough, you've got to learn to be a bit more patient, a bit more stable, and so forth. So you see how it works? It kind of works with how you're going to relate to things in life as a 4. So what happens is when you get an understanding of this number and you can relate and you look back at situations in your life and you think, yeah, that's kind of fits my arrival day, why I came under this contract, this frequency. So when we go and do the meditation today, we're going to go and look at how we signed that contract and what we were really doing at that time, or get some sort of feedback or answers. Okay, the activation. Arrival day mission activation channeled from the Ascension Masters of the 9th Dimension. Greetings, beautiful rainbow sisters of light. We gather today to celebrate your day that you arrived to see out a new mission on Earth at a very special time in the history of the existence of Earth. You come to understand the change of the planet, as many planets are now part of the great change. And remember, I keep saying to you, what happens here reflects up to all the other planets. They're going through other things as well as we are. So all the planets that are connected to this solar system is ascending. We ascend, they ascend. The people on there ascend. So that's why we have to be careful how we do things here on Earth, because it will reflect on those other planets. So part of the great change is many of these planets going through what we're going through. Many of you heard the calling from Source to be a volunteer of one of the most significant times in humanity. At the same time, you came to understand a much higher consciousness of yourself, so that your soul evolves into the highest light. You recognize patterns, situations that must be written under your mission contract number. So that's exactly what I've been talking about. Your soul evolves into a higher light for you to recognize the patterns and situations that are under this contract number. So like you are 4, like you, Teresa, are 9. Also here to learn self-healing and understanding the human Godman body. That's why we mustn't abuse our bodies. We are here to understand the human Godman body and how it works. So see, the thing is, we all came through some rough patches as starseeds. You know, we did alcohol, some did drugs, some did other things, you know, and we abused our bodies to understand how to look after our bodies now. And to understand, you know, this is, you know, how they say, I think it is that the monks and the, yoga teachers say this is our temple and how to look after it, that is what we're here to do, so that we can help others to help others with self-healing. Okay, the purpose of us going through everything we've been through, plus our contract number, is here to help others. It's all about humanity, people. The number you vibrate under is how you relate to all in this lifetime and how you understand yourself to those you meet, to the life you manifest is associated with the mission and lessons you learn. So it's all about your negative and positive and how you focus all on that vibration of your arrival day. Does that make sense? Because this is what they channeled through. And I was like, well, hang on a minute. This is too heavy for me. I've got to stop for a minute. The number you vibrate is under. So the number you came through, and both, actually, you and I are both 9s. No, I'm a 7. Is how you relate to all in this lifetime and how you understand yourself to those you meet. So that how they see you is how you show them, because you now know and understand what you're vibrating as in a frequency of that number of the positive. So the life you manifest and associated with this mission and lesson. So if you're in your positive, you have a great life. You have a wonderful life. You set it up that way because that's the vibration you are. If it's not all working out for you and you're hitting your head against a brick wall and you're constantly out on the street living in a tent, well, you're obviously living in the negative. So you see, you learn by these lessons of that particular frequency number. And number 1s make the best addicts. So the activation is today. We ask today for the memory of the vibration number of our arrival day, what this means and what our mission is mostly for, which we'll find out when we go into the meditation. We activate the vibration number within us and its full positive balance to help ourselves, Earth, and humanity. So we're asking for the positive of it to manifest itself for us, to work with that frequency and energy. However, we reject, and we must say this, we reject all negative aspects of the vibration number that we come under and ask all connotations associated with it denounced, rejected, and I don't know what that word is. I'll have to think about it because I can't read my own writing. To be free in the positive experience. This is what they channeled. So they're asking us to reject the negative side aspect because they want our consciousness to be in the positive. And anyone that's put a curse or said to you, bugger you don't know how to think, you're dumb, you're stupid, anything of those kind of things that have been put on you, you now reject under your vibration number. So any connotations associated with it, we are now denouncing and rejecting any of that, because unless you do it yourself spiritually and in the physical light today, it'll continue to come back and haunt you because you're not doing the work. You're not understanding how it works, because there is always a positive, a negative, a good, a bad, a light, a dark. It's just life. Continue the activation. We ask that as we move forward with the renewed memory of our purpose, mission, and soul journey, that we are of the highest vibrating light carrier for our volunteer work to be service in New Earth. How beautiful is that? That others will see, learn, and understand too through our newfound knowledge and wisdom given to us today. And so it is. Thank you, Creator of all, one with one. And it says clap to activate it. And we must do this for the next week. once a day. To reject any negative, bring back in the positive. So it's a really good activation. And then in guiding light, we've got the memory activation we need to do today, which is showing you like this, the Orions of the fifth aligned planet in the Orion star system. So that's in here. If you want to keep doing that for the rest of the week as well, get your memory activation going. So you remember this contract and when you signed it and what your purpose was. You're going to work so positively after this because you'll have a better understanding. Because I often ask, I said, why the hell did I decide to come on Christmas Day, the hardest day of the year? You know, it was a crappy day to arrive because it's a 7. And a 7, trust and openness. And remember, I said I had trust issues all my life because of my childhood. So I had to learn to trust, which I do now. I totally trust. I totally trust where I am, what I'm doing in the current moment with God. And I had to come to that. But the otherness was to be learned to be open again and to speak my truth. And this is why, as a child, I had chronic tonsillitis because I was never allowed to speak my truth.
What's a number 2?
A 2, cooperation and balance.
Mhm.
You want to know it?
Out.
Has clear
Yes.
sense of personal boundaries and limits, supports self and others in equal measures, which is so true. You balance things because you're a Libra.
Mm-hmm.
Hello.
Mhm.
And an Orion, you're a triple. Gee.
Yep.
So in the negative, you feel overwhelmed, resistant, reactive, starts out overly helpful, then suddenly withdraws
Yep.
into your shell.
Mm-hmm.
It's
When I
like,
get overwhelmed.
yeah, you pull your aerial in and you go like this.
Yeah.
No, leave me alone. Don't touch me. Don't come near me.
Mm-hmm. 8.
Abundance and power. Hello, who's always wanted
Oh,
to make money?
yeah, and that's totally
Provide.
him.
Enjoys abundance and influence without concern or abuse. She is blessingly, generously, and wisely. That is,
Hmm?
I don't even know the guy. Negative, afraid of, yet preoccupied with issues of money, power control,
Mm-hmm.
recognition, and sabotages self.
Mm-hmm.
So you can see why you two are together because 2 and 8 are
10.
no, 2 and 8. 2 and 8's are 2 is part of 8. 2, 2, 2, 2. So
Yeah.
no, you work into 8. So in the positive, you support others. So you support him when he's in the sabotage mood.
Yeah, we help to balance each other in a
raise
lot of
him
things.
up, just like Teresa and Harry do. But when you're in here, all sheltered and pulled your aerial and everything in, he's saying it's okay, we've got all these blessings, we've got this abundance, I've got this job, I can help you, I can support you,
Mhm.
it's okay. You know,
Yeah.
you can see how that works.
Yeah.
And this is how you two reflect out your mission on life. This is how you manifest things. You make your life work for yourself. If you're not making it work for yourself, then you're working in the negative.
Yeah.
And then how can you teach others or be leaders or work in service to humanity if you're not in your positive? So this is why it's really important about our arrival days and understanding how it works.
What's a 28?
28 is a 10, which is a 1. So I've actually attracted the 2 that were in your life, your parents, as your partner to relearn those lessons and to make it into a positive.
Thanks.
Does that make sense to you? So
Yeah.
he's, I think it's about creating and confidence. channels high energy, which we know. Rush could have everything organized, lined up, right with the car, organized, put this here, put the car seat here, do this. That's him. But he can also be creative if you give him the time. And that makes him feel secure with himself. And the negative, he feels blocked, stuck, frustrated, lethargic, insecure. And this is where the addictions come.
Yeah.
So he has to watch himself with addictions. It can be anything like coffee, it can be alcohol, drugs, it can be cigarettes, it can be PlayStation. Exactly. It's an addiction. So that's the only thing about ones. They do tend to do that, become addictive behavior.
And if we're like born premature, or if you got induced, you're still coming on the right day and time.
Yeah, because I was 2 weeks premature. I was supposed to be born in January, which would have made me closer to an Aquarian. Yet people say to me, "You are not Capricorn. You are so Aquarian." But you had to come through on that vibration number, so I had to come 2 weeks early because I want to come through on a 7. So nothing is coincidence. Remember that. The number you came through and is the soul contract number you were meant to come through. And that's why it's connected to your mother's journey, because your mother's journey learns through the birth of you. Whether she had to have you early, late, by C-section or whatever, these are the lessons they learn on the day by having you. That's why your DNA and everything is so connected to the mother always, because it's a soul contract between the two of you. It's really strong. And see what I mean? It's layer upon layer upon layer.
Yeah.
And here I am, memory activation for meditation today. The memory of who you are and what you know is coming online. You will know your missions. You will know your earth mission. You will know your service. Memory will activate over 3 weeks in earth time. Memory of your galactic missions, angel missions, super soldier missions, underwater missions, Atlantis lifetimes, early Egypt and Greece lifetimes, Lemuria lifetimes. Now, this is a good one. May you know your memory. May you know who you are. May you know where you came from. May you remember. Commands. I command my memory of all missions be activated today. I am ready to remember. I command my memory of my star family and origins be activated today. I command my memory of galactic wars and missions be activated today. I command my memory of archangel connections, angel self be activated today. I command my super soldier self be activated in memory today and activate all missions be seen in my memory today. I command memory of all past history, main events I was part of be activated today. And this is what we were talking about earlier. We came from many resets and things and events. I command my memory of all past lives be activated today. I command love, light, energy, the highest form be within me with these memory activations. I command that my memory remembers all that I am, I am, I am, I am. I remember, I see myself, I know myself, I am memory. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ring bell. Right. All right. I'm going to repeat that and do it 3 times a week for 3 weeks if you want that memory to be fully reactivated. And this is coming in now with the 1111 gateway. This is why we're doing, remember Sharon said, everything aligns to each next step we do. This is because we had to do this today before the 1111 memory activation, where people are going to be waking up worldwide. And the Ascended Masters, the Ascension Masters came through and gave me that message the other day. So they are preparing us. They're getting us ready. Now, also, in soul messages, I have a birthday message, which I forgot about. I saw it today and I went, oh, yeah, I forgot I did that. So this is for our arrival days. Birthdays come and go, but every year you grow, you shine, you love. Every year on the special day, we give you rays of light and energy to continue your mission. So it is a rebirth of each year because they do upgrade your codes on your birthday. That's why it's special. But like I said, you only have one birthday, and that's the connection with your mum on the day she births you. It's your arrival date time. It's your stamp in your passport when you arrived on Earth. And they go, okay, you came here this time so many years ago. You need an upgrade. And that's why when you go into a new year after a birthday, things change because you've had an upgrade, a reset. Enjoy, beautiful ones. This is given to you and only you today. Be love, be joy, be light. So it's special to you because you get your upgrades as if you've been a rebirth. And that's why people get it wrong. They get it so wrong about the whole birthday and entrapping you into it. And I was saying to Teresa before everyone came on, it brings out narcissistic behavior because everyone makes a big thing of it and an event for you. And I've got to do this and I've got to be the special person. And no, I don't want that cake. I want this. And where's all my presents? And then I've got to go over here and go overseas and have a big day in Rarotonga. Or, you know, it's the whole event is created about me, 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 me. It's not meant to be about me, 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 me. It's meant to be about your consciousness. Take your eyes off yourself and look up and look at your consciousness and where you're going and what you're doing for the next year. It's a renewal process. It's a really interesting topic. I tell you, I've been going over it for the last 3 days. I love this book. As you can see, look how worn it is. It's not about the numerology. It's about your mission. That's the thing, the life you were meant to lead. It's such a good book. I've used it in so many of my trainings and so forth. Okay. Through all my work and all the corporate work I did, I used to do a lot of the HR records. We employed new people and I'd look at their birthdays, and if it came to a 1, I'd watch them closely. And sure enough, quite often in the morning, they came in very red eyes and moody till about midday because they had been drinking the night before. Takes them about 1 or 2 in the afternoon for the alcohol to start to disappear from their system. Anything that you're thinking is you're addicted to, just do activations over it so it's good for your higher consciousness, and ask, say, hey, is this all right for my body? And if you get that feeling, oh yeah, this is going to be good, good. If you don't use it. Find a substitute. There are dandelion substitutes really good for coffee too.
He's not so bad now, but he was very, very bad with coffee. Very bad.
And that's because if he's a 1, and you know, this is something else you've got to remember, is he's feeling blocked.
He is.
And then that's when all the problems start. See,
We've had a lot of problems.
Yeah, they do get a lot of problems, and they get constipated a lot too once.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maria, can I please ask number 22?
It's a 4.
Yeah.
You see me emotionally open with my heart, with tears and my 7, but when I'm in the negative, I don't trust. I shield myself.